Hey everyone, it is Arlie here with My Journey, My Way, Weight Loss and Spiritual Gain. First and foremost, if you do not know me, my name is Arliana Shanice, and I usually talk about weight loss and my weight loss journey, my healthy living journey, as well as some spiritual encouragement as well. However, today is very different. I have no true script. I just wanted to come on here and hopefully encourage someone while encouraging myself. So before we go any further, please give me a thumbs up, please like me, share this video, and hopefully you will be encouraged just like God is continuing to encourage me each and every day. I don't even really have a title for this one. If I had to really think about the experience, let's just say we may call this I am an overcomer. Let's go with that. That sounds good. Okay. So if I'm being honest, because being vulnerable is the only way that this works, I had tried something new, to say the least, in these past couple of months, and without going into a whole bunch of detail, whatever I do, whether it be personal, whether it be professional, whether it be spiritual, my weight loss journey, I strive to do everything in excellence. So for me, at least, when I do something, when I really want something, when I'm putting myself out there, I try my absolute hardest to put in genuine, sincere, and honest effort. So to say the least, I was getting really excited about something, about this new experience in my life. I was putting my best foot forward. I was becoming vulnerable in this, which means we put ourselves out there. And to say the least, it just didn't turn out the way that I thought it would. We all face great emotions in life, whether it be sad, whether it be hurt, disappointment, rejection. I myself had a really low moment with the feeling of defeat on yesterday, y'all. And when I say a really low moment, I mean I was curled up in fetal position on my living room floor because I was that hurt. And I just felt defeated, and for a number of reasons. With anything that we do, with anything we really want to try and put our best foot forward with, we do it to the best of our abilities and the best way we know how. And with that comes defeat. And if we want to relate this to weight loss, it could absolutely happen there too. We put our best forward, our foot forward in the gym, we eat everything possible, and then we get on the scale and you do not see the results that we are expected to see. And you get this overwhelming feeling of defeat. And for me, it had just got to a point where yesterday I was literally just overwhelmed with sadness and disappointment. And when that happens, it triggers a lot. And at least for me, because I know where I come from, I know where my background is, I know what I used to struggle with. I struggled with insecurities, and I struggled with rejection, and I struggled with low self-esteem. So for me, it's just like when I put my best foot forward and that is still not reciprocated, or there is some kind of disappointment, it was just so overwhelming. And the only thing I could do was cry, because you get to this point where it's just like, God, what else do you want me to do, or could I have done in this situation to make this not be the outcome, to make me not feel so hurt, to make me not feel so defeated? Like, what else could I have possibly done when I literally tried everything for it not to go like this? Even in those experiences, even when my emotions were so overwhelming, I'm still a woman of faith, so I immediately went into my prayer closet. And it was so beautiful, because even in the midst of my moment, in this midst of this low point that I was having, in the midst of my crying, I got a beautiful text message from a really good friend, and it was so awesome how God moves. anything could possibly happen, and he sends an angel to truly just bring you peace. And in that moment, my friend was my peace, and she sent me this beautiful text message that just encouraged me, and it simply said, sis, I don't know what you're going through, but you are heavy on my heart, and I just want to let you know that any emotion that you're feeling is not greater than God's promise. So she was like, and I know it's hard, but we have to keep fighting. I want you to know that he is bigger than any emotions that you're feeling in this moment. And when I tell you, one, I cried harder, but it was so amazing to know that in this moment, literally in the midst of my storm and my trial and my disappointment and defeat, God was just all in there, and that is the most amazing thing about him. And as I'm reading that, she sent me this beautiful worship song. I literally put my phone on do not disturb, and I just put this worship song on, and I just went into worship. I love being in God's presence, but there's something about being in God's presence when you are in a weak and vulnerable moment. And in the midst of my worship, it was so beautiful how I heard God clear as day to say, daughter, you are going to. Matter of fact, you already have overcome this. And it was the most comforting thing in the world. And even in that moment, even in my feeling of defeat, I already knew that the battle was already won. And it was literally like God saying, yes, daughter, I understand that you're allowed to have these moments. We are allowed to have human emotions. We are allowed to feel defeated. We are allowed to feel insecure. We are allowed to feel or have feelings of low self-esteem, but we are not allowed to stay there. And it was more like, yes, we feel like in this life we can win or lose some battles rather, but God has already won the war. And in that moment, I just kept reminding myself of everything he's already carried me through. Yes, this feeling of disappointment hurts right now, but he's already delivered me from situations where I was suicidal at a young age, that I truly wanted to take my life because of rejection, because of bullying, because of low self-esteem. And this small moment could not by any means ruin everything that God has instilled in me. He's instilled in me strength and confidence. Nothing that I'm feeling right now, no emotion is enough to move me, because it's just like this emotion has literally nothing on God's promises for you. He's already delivered me from so much. He's delivered me from suicidal thoughts. He's delivered me from body shaming. He's delivered me from limitations I've put on myself. He's delivered me from really bad situations where I felt defeated, where I felt that I was low, and I'm stronger and I'm greater than this. And I come to encourage you today to say the same thing. Whatever trial you may be facing, whatever feeling of emotion that you really feel like can be overwhelming, whether it be self-esteem like myself, rejection or depression, or whether it be something else. Yes, God, some financial struggles right now, but I know that this feeling of being overwhelmed by my finances doesn't compare to what's in my future. It doesn't compare to the business that I'm gonna start that is gonna bring in endless revenue for me and my family. Everything that I'm feeling right now, I'm allowed to feel it, but I am not allowed to stay there. So anything, whether it be sickness, God, I know that I'm sick right now, but the blessing of in the healing and the health that's on the other side of this cannot compare to this current emotion. That this feeling of fear that I'm feeling right now will not compare to the confidence that's in front of me, will not compare to the blessings that God has put in front of me. Everything that I'm feeling right now cannot compare to what God has already promised you. And it is the most amazing feeling in the world. And I'm telling you right now, y'all, I'm excited because I'm encouraging myself. But I always have to remind myself, even this situation reminded me here, some things don't work out, some things fall apart, some things and people walk away, but that's only because God is about to replace that thing. He's about to replace that person with something greater. We are not allowed to stay in a place of defeat because God's promises are so much greater than what we're experiencing right now. And that's another thing. Again, if we have to relate it to food, we are not allowed to be in a place of defeat. There is no temptation greater than the body that's on the other side of that donut, girlfriend. There is no pizza, there's no Burger King, there's no McDonald's compared to the health and wellness that you'll feel when you cut everything away. That is my little piece of weight loss if we have to tie it in together. But there is no temporary emotion, there is no temporary situation that cannot compare to the promises that God already has for our life. We have to walk confident in it. Not saying that we're not allowed to feel hurt, not saying that we're not allowed to be disappointed, because I surely was disappointed. I surely was hurt. I surely felt like, God, why is this happening yet again? But he was literally like, daughter, this little thing you worried about right here, this little thing you're crying about, go ahead and have your moment. But once you get up and you get through this, like I carried you through all those other situations I delivered you from, the promise that's on the other side of these tears, the promise that's on the other side of this temporary hurt you're feeling right now, is nothing compared to the blessing that I have just waiting for you. So go ahead and cry, baby girl. Let it out. Go ahead and feel the moment, because I also believe we have to feel these moments to grow and to increase and to be strengthened from these moments. But do not stay there. God has so much greater for us in store, and it's usually on the other side of emotions, because of course, if the enemy can get us to stay in these feelings of rejection and these feelings of depression and these feelings of bondage, we will never walk into the full promises God has for us on the other side of it. So yes, feel those emotions. Yes, cry it out. Yes, have your moment, but make sure you get up, you wipe your tears, and you keep walking forth into the promises that God has for you. So as I encourage myself, I hope that this encouraged you. I love you guys so much. I hope everybody has a great night. Good night.